Saturday Social is powered by FIFA 22 with PlayStation.
Stevie, in front of me I have some of the most searched questions on the internet about Steven Gerrard, and you're going to attempt to answer some of them now. How are you feeling, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm ready to go. I'm a bit anxious and concerned about what people search for, but on you go.
They're not too bad. Don't worry, they're not too bad. The first one just quite simply says, who was Steven Gerrard's idol?
My idol growing up was John Barnes. He was the main player for the Reds back in the day. Winger, exciting, scored goals, created goals. A lot of VHS and DVDs around John Barnes for Christmas, so he was my hero.
Love that. Yeah, top players we know. Speaking about your playing career, I read an interesting article that said your career was nearly over before it started because you had an injury with a garden fork and you nearly lost a toe. Is that right? Can you sort of tell us what happened?
Yeah, it's correct. Yeah, I was playing on a bit of waste ground, a bit of grass, and the ball went like a nettled area with the shrubs, and I've gone to kick the ball out and kicked into a garden fork. Oh. Which went into my toe by a couple of inches, but it was rusty and it got a bit infected. I had a few issues with it. And they wanted to remove me toe, but Liverpool at the time, because I was at the academy, or the Centre of Excellence it was called back then, Steve Highway stopped that procedure happening and we treated it conservatively in a different way. Wow,
amazing story, wow. Okay, next question just says, what is Steven Gerrard's best ever goal?
Ooh, probably the FA Cup one in 2006 against West Ham, just because of the time, because of how I felt, and obviously the importance of the goal. That was probably the nicest one that I enjoy seeing back the most.
And am I right in thinking you said that you had a bit of cramp, and if you hadn't had cramp, you wouldn't have shot? Is that true?
Yeah, the way I felt, I didn't have much left. It was a really hot day. West Ham were fantastic on the day. They really ran us. I think the majority of our players were cramped up. We were tired, and the distance where I was, I think looking at it now, normally you'd probably start an attack off rather than take that on. So I tried my luck. Thankfully the connection was good, and very relieved to see it fly in the back of the goal.
Yeah, top strike. I thought you might have said that one. Top goal, that one. Next question just quite simply says, who is the best player Steven Gerrard played with? Now, I'm intrigued to know the answer to this because obviously you played with so many top players in your career.
Yeah, you're right, I did, and I get asked the question a lot and it's very difficult. I always split it into two. I think from an England point of view, it would have been Wayne Rooney for sure. When Wayne was at his best, he was unplayable, and to play behind him and have the option to be an 8 behind Wayne in the 10 was a fantastic experience, obviously known very well as well, but it's not a mate thing, that's reality. Wayne was England's best player for a long time. From a Liverpool point of view, it'd probably be between Torres and Suarez, but if I was forced and pushed, because Louis done it over a longer period of time, and Louis left for a foreign club rather than Chelsea, I'd go with Luis Suarez.
You go Luis Suarez, just about, okay. And what about playing against? Of course, again, you played against so many top players. Is there one player that you can pick out as the best player that you ever came up against?
I think there was one player I was in awe of, was Zinedine Zidane, playing against him for France. Just the size of him, the way he moved around the pitch, his quality, his technical ability, the aura that he brought to a football pitch. I think that was certainly an experience. But listen, I played against top high-level midfielders throughout my career. In the early days, Vieira and Keane, to name a few, were high-level top players. Paul Scholes, Frank Lampard, as my career went on. And you know, even in the latter days, you get challenged with the likes of your Busquets and different players in the Champions League. So they've all made me a better player with the challenges that they brought, and they were all very tough opponents in different ways and had different styles. So it's a very difficult question just to pick one.
Yeah. Did you relish playing against those type of players? Because you just listed off some unbelievable players there. When you come up against players of that quality, do you enjoy it, or do you know that you're in for a tough day? Do you relish it? What is your mindset going into games like that?
I think first and foremost, it's a dream to get to that level. You know, as a young player, developing and trying to become an established player at Liverpool, you dream of wanting to play against your Vieiras, your Keanes, your Makelele's, and all the top players, your Zidanes around the world. You dream, and then once it's actually there, you just want to make the most of it, you know. I didn't fear playing against anyone. I was always excited and tried to prepare myself in the best possible way. I've had mixed performances against them players. Sometimes I've done well against them, sometimes, you know, they've had a good performance, but that's the level you're dealing with. You're talking about real high-end, a small minority of world-class midfielders, but for me, that's something that you've got to thrive on, and try and make the most of. I never really feared to play against anyone.
Love it. Next one, a little bit random. This one just says, what is Steven Gerrard's favourite meal? So people want to know what your favourite meal is.
I think when you eat everything that's not good for you is lovely, isn't it? You know, your Chineses, your Italians, your Indians.
So true.
I love it all. I like food where you can have more than one dish and you can pick and put all kinds of different stuff on your plate. But normally I'm quite safe and bored and try and look after myself Monday to Friday. And then Saturday, Sunday, I let myself go. That's how I do it.
Yeah. What is your takeaway of choice then when you're letting go on a Saturday and Sunday?
Depends what day it is, what mood I'm in, whether I'm having a wine or a beer. But if I'm having a wine, I like a nice Italian.
Italian, yeah, good choice. Can't go wrong with an Italian with a glass of wine, I agree. Next one, continuing on the random theme a little bit, just says, did Steven Gerrard dress up as an old man?
Correct.
Can you tell us about this story? Because I think I've heard a few sort of rumours about this. Just tell us about what happened that night.
Yeah, it was a fancy dress with Liverpool, the first teamers. I think it might have been a Christmas party style fancy dress, and obviously you were free to choose and decide whatever you wanted. So I rented a mobility scooter at the time, and I had a mask, an old man mask, and I put the flat cap on, went and done a bit of shopping in some shops and dressed up like an old man with a pipe, and I rolled into the party on the scooter. That's how I did it.
I think the best thing about this story is that, I think I've heard Crouchy tell it, is that all the other Liverpool players were getting stopped by photographers and paparazzi, but am I right in thinking that no one knew that was you and you just bowled straight in? No one knew it was you?
Yeah, well, that was part of the plan. I didn't really want to be pictured in something stupid, so I just went in incognito and I was driving around the tables. I think they didn't know it was me, thought it was an intruder, and I actually won it that night as well. So
brilliant, what a story. Any plans to dress up again like that?
I've got no invitations to any fancy dresses, but you can hire me out if you get in touch with my agents. I'm available.
I'd love to do that. I'd love to do that. Next question, going back to football now. It says, what is Steven Gerrard's best managerial achievement so far?
Obviously, I'm sitting next to a Celtic fan here, by the way. So
are you?
I'm sitting next to a Celtic fan here, look. Let's move on swiftly, saying, no, listen, 55. 100% because of the obsession with the Celtic fans when I went up there, 10 in a row this, 10 in a row that, blah, blah, blah. To get 55 was special.
Yeah, and I can tell the person you
should see his face here. You should see his face.
What's he doing? He's not happy?
The biggest year in Celtic's history, and yeah. That's how it went.
Brilliant.
Sorry about that.
We'll move. I'm being told to move on, so we will move on. Similar theme, really, about your managerial career. It just says, what can Gerrard achieve at Aston Villa? So I think it's an interesting question, that, in terms of your aims and ambitions. Do you look too far ahead? Do you set yourself targets? What is your mindset with regards to your current role?
Everyone's aligned and would love the European football experience back at the club. We know we need to do better than the domestic cups, but you know, this club should be pushing and challenging the teams at the top end of the league. And
of course, you must be delighted with the transfer window so far, the likes of Luca Digne, Philippe Coutinho. It's been a very good window for Aston Villa so far, hasn't it?
Yeah, of course, very positive. The support we've had has been fantastic from both owners, from Christian and Johan. Two main targets that we had have been delivered.
Okay, next question. A bit random, this one. Just says, has Steven Gerrard always had the same haircut?
you know that's not true. I think that's someone having a dig, which I appreciate and respect. I'm safe, I'm cautious, it's looking well now. And I've had a few bad days when I went for the skinhead and when I've tried a few things, but yeah, at the moment it's basic, it works, and I'm happy with it.
I remember the skinhead days. I mean, any plans to, you said it's safe there, that's your own words, any plans to do anything extravagant with the hair in the future?
Nah, listen, I'm well past them vain days. I've 41, I'm happy, Mrs. is happy, she said she was happy with it this morning, so we roll forward.
Perfect, if everyone's happy, you can't ask more than that. Next question just says, who is Steven Gerrard's most famous friend?
Jamie Carragher in your world, he's
Jamie Carragher,
he's
most
flying,
famous friend.
Yeah, he's smashing the punditry. He's a top player. He's on Gogglebox now. He's singing. He's doing everything that's going. He's doing, so he's probably my most famous friend now. Gary Neville's new brother.
He is everywhere, isn't he?
He's flying.
Obviously, you're good.
People can't get enough of him. Doesn't even phone me anymore. He doesn't text me. Nothing. I don't even see him.
Is Steven Gerrard a bit jealous with the Gary Neville?
Gary Neville's robbed them off me.
Yeah.
We used to be tight, man. He's robbed them off me. Imagine that, imagine Gary Neville robbing your mate.
I know, unbelievable.
How does that make you feel? I'm going to have to improve my banter, aren't I?
I'm sure Jamie will watch this. I'm sure he'll have something to say. Next one just says, how many England caps did Steven Gerrard get?
114.
Yeah, incredible. Fourth most capped England player of all time. Can you pick a favourite moment? Because obviously you played for England for so long, had so many caps, went to so many tournaments. Is there one moment for you that stands out in an England shirt?
I think captaining a team for the first time, your debut, scoring away at Germany are a few highlights, but I think big picture and the reality is for the group of players that we played with and the talent that we had in the dressing room, we should have done more. So there's certainly a bit of frustration and a few regrets looking back, but it is what it is. I loved representing my country. I'm really proud to have that number of caps, but I'd love to be sitting here talking about bigger, good days with England. And at the moment, I think the England team, with the leadership of Garrett's in a fantastic place. We were really close in the last tournament, so I watched from afar as a fan, and I hope they go on and go on better. He's also not just a Celtic fan. He's Scottish, so he doesn't want that to happen. But that's the world we live in, isn't it?
It is. I was going to ask you about that. You touched upon it there, how well England are doing under Gareth Southgate. Do you think this current group of players will win a major trophy? Because obviously it's so difficult to win a major trophy at international level.
I hope so. I think they're good enough, and they should get big belief and confidence from the last tournament. But having played at that level, you realise how tough it is. I don't think people on the outside realise how tough it is and how challenging them tournaments can be, especially on the back of a real tough domestic campaign. But I think the difference now with the England group is it feels like a club environment. It feels like there's better togetherness, unity, there's strong friendships and relationships, and to become a good team and a winning team, that's key and important. So quite rightly, they're in that group of being favourites. So I have hope, and rightly so, they should be favourites, but I also appreciate how tough it is, once you get into them, the knockout stages, them competitions, it's really demanding and really tough, but let's hope so. Yeah,
fair point. Last few now. Next one just says, how many languages can Steven Gerrard speak?
2. English and Scouse.
English and Scouse, yeah? There a big difference between the two then?
Yeah, if you come for a beer with me and my mates, I guarantee you'd say I can't understand a word any of you are saying.
I'd love that. When are we doing that?
Whenever you're available, mate. I go for a couple of beers after most wins.
Are there any plans, on a serious note, for you to learn any future languages? Obviously, as a manager now, you're dealing with players from different countries and cultures. Is that something you've ever considered now that you're a manager?
Yeah, listen, I've flirted with the idea a couple of times as a player, just to be able to do it. I'd love to be in a place to do it, but it's obviously very time consuming. But who knows? I'm certainly young enough. We'll have to wait and see. But I'm quite disappointed in myself that I haven't. I think I should have given it a little bit more on that side of it. Yeah.
Okay, we shall wait and see. Next question says, does Steven Gerrard love karaoke?
He doesn't love it, but he's available for it in the right environment and under the influence of a certain level of alcohol. If it's my goal, it's my goal. I'll get up and do my best.
What is Steven Gerrard's karaoke song of choice then? You've said that you do dabble a little bit.
I've done a few. I've done a few. I've been booed off doing Bryan Adams, doing Fleetwood Mac. I've been booed off doing a few.
Have you booed off Fleetwood Mac? Yeah?
I got a round of applause doing Snow Patrol on a beach one day, so I've had mixed experiences.
That's quite a big variety, that Snow Patrol, Fleetwood Mac, Bryan Adams. It's just whatever goes on the day. It's just
I grew up. My mum and dad had big variety, and I'm a big music fan. I've got some good playlists and stuff. I love my music, so yeah, I'm quite open to seeing what's available on the night.
You're available, I like that. Final question just says, does Steven Gerrard have an MBE?
Yeah, he does. He does, yeah, and really proud of that. It was obviously for services in sport and football, and it was a really proud day for me and my family. Growing up, coming from a council estate, to be in a position to go and receive that honour off the Queen was a special day for me and my family, so I'm really proud of it.
What was it like meeting the Queen? Was it a moment that you were nervous at beforehand, or did you sort of take it in your stride? How did you feel beforehand?
I tried to take it in my stride and act all, normal and cool, but yeah, there was definitely emotion inside and a few nerves and excitements.
I think it's the perfect note to end it on. Proud day for your family. Stephen, I really enjoyed that. We covered a lot. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, I did actually, yeah. I did, it was all right.
Thank you very much for your time, mate. Cheers. Good to catch up, and all the best for the rest of the season.
All the best, fella.